Hello YouTube, and welcome to our 56 Unity 3D tutorial. And in this tutorial, a user has suggested or asked for a tutorial. So when you move your mouse, an object follows it. And now we're looking at our game and thinking, well, we've got no real point for that in our game at the moment, because like we can't pick up a car and move it with our mouse or something. But then I really thought about it, we could implement it into our game. The actual code for it's really easy. But to put it into our game, it needed some thought. But then I thought of it, what would be the best way? And I recently watched a film, and I'm not going to say it for copyright reasons, but yeah. And what we can do is there's an arcade machine built by me, which is there, as you can see, that's my name. Um, but it's the maze, and like what I'm going to do is make a little extra game. So you walk up to arcade machine, click on it, you play the little maze game with the mouse, you move it around, you win, you go wow, and you get some money from it. But I don't know why that's there on it, but yeah. So the textures on it are changeable, so if you want to change any of these textures you can. So I'm going to download that, the link for that's in the description if you want to. So yeah. So what we've done is I've imported that here, as you can see, MISC, because I didn't know what category to put it in. Arcade machine is split up, textures in one folder. So as you can see, the controller screen, joystick handle, joystick top, left image, main image, right image, screen, top. You can change it all, but I customize it as the maze for this very reason. So we have the different ones here. Take your pick on which one you want. Probably not the bottom one. So I'm just going to use this one because it looks like it's working. Yeah. If you don't like anything on it, you feel free to change it. It's a free model. And this is a big model. So I'm going to get rid of that one and try and put a different one in. Hopefully another one smaller. There we go. That's perfect size. Kind of. It needs to be bigger. So let's move it up and resize it. We're not going to actually do the code for this in this tutorial. We're going to do it in the next tutorial. But it's really simple. But it will take a little bit of time. Does that look like he can rest his hands comfortably? Put it down a little bit. That'll do. Perfect size. I don't know why it's got the gaps around it, but that's probably something to do with the Unity importing. Are there any others better? That's the same. Oh, what's this big one like? We may as well have a look at it. Well, they're all the same. I don't know why they've got the gaps, but yeah. So let's just place this somewhere in our game. So I'm going to place it, of course, next to this building here. And rotate it a little bit. 90. What's that look like? Of course, we need to make it hit the floor. That'd be a good idea. So we just put it on the floor and stick a box glide on it so we can't walk through it, just for now. Worst box glider ever, but it'll do. So we've got our arcade console. But we're not actually going to make that skip to the level yet. We're going to go straight into the other level and start editing it. So really simple to do. So we'll go File, New Scene, create our new scene. And we'll first go to our main camera. And, well, what's the first thing we want to do? Well, we'll get the object moving. Why not? So if we go to Game Object, Create Other, I'm just going to use a cube. And we'll put the game down here so we can see what we're doing. So I'm going to drag it out a bit. So, yeah. So I'm going to go into our textures folder and create a new folder called the maze. Mini game. Yeah, this is kind of a mini game, by the way. So in here I'm going to create a new material. Sorry you can't see that. And I'll just call this char. And I'm going to tint this a colour of blue. That blue, that'll do. And drag it on. So now we've just got a basic colour. Boom. We need a light, so let's add a light. So directional light will be good. Drag it out of the way. So we've got that. It's all good so far. But I'm going to keep the grids on so we can see. That won't work at the moment because when we drag it, it just won't. The perception of it won't work right. So what we need to do is if you click on the camera and go into the camera bit of it and change the projection to that one. Or I don't know what that is. I really don't. I'll try to put in the next tutorial. But what you need to do is move the cube so you can actually see it. So if we drag this back, you should be able to see the cube soon. So if we increase the size of this cube, as you can see, it's right there. It was just really small. So if we make that so it's visible, as you can see, it's right there on the other camera. The closer you move the cube, it doesn't do it with this camera, the way it works. So we will have to change the size in that code, but it will work. So if we have a basic cube there, and we can start it off by putting it, I don't know, down here or something. That'll do. So what we can do now is if we change this to char cube, no, char, there we go. And we're going to create a new folder in our scripts folder called arcade minigame, maze minigame. And here we're going to create 2 scripts eventually, but we'll create 1 for now. And we'll just call this char controls. That'll do. And we'll assign this to our character. Boom. Can't add because it's not finished. So we'll boot it up. There we go. So we've got our char controls. Now we'll assign it to the character because that's one thing we always forget. Alright, so that's that one done. So now in here, what we're going to do is get rid of the function start because we don't need that. And up here, we're going to create a new var, and we'll call it camera, and it'll be a game object, so we can assign our camera to it. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a new variable called array. And what array does is first we set a starting point, which will be our main character, which will be this here. So from this point here, then it'll send a point to somewhere else. It's an infinite straight line. So what we're going to do is choose our origin, which is our middle of our camera. Then we're going to choose where to take it to, which will actually be our mouse. And then what we're going to do is move this cube to our mouse position. So it's the way you record your mouse cursor on the screen. So this, as I'm here, will go from there to about here. Boom, and hit me. So we'll move that to this position. And then since we're going to put in the function update, as we move, it'll keep constantly updating itself. So it should be really simple. It is really simple when you learn it. So just type var, we'll call it new line, and the line, yeah, that'll do. And it will be array. Don't put this outside here. Make sure you keep it in here. The array, and it will be our camera. So now we're setting the origin of it, so where we want to go to, where we want it to start from. Sorry. And from the camera, what do we want to do? Well, we need to get from this camera, and then we need to print the coordinates of the mouse on the camera. You'll see in a minute. So we need to access the camera property here, and so that's camera.camera. Well, yeah, and then we're going to use something called screen point to ray, one word, all capitals, and that'll basically what projects our mouse onto coordinates for us to turn into the position of the cube. And then in brackets here, you'll put where you want them to record, which is input.mouse position, which is basically record our mouse. We could write a print statement for that, saying print ray.point or something, and it'll tell us the coordinates of it, but we may as well just get straight on with it. So var new pos, so our new position of our object will be a vector 3 x, y and z coordinates, and what we're going to do is set it to this variable, and then because this is a function, it's a variable of the function ray, so the line which goes into the ray, we need to do something called get point. This is how we set our distance, so we set in the distance of the cube to the camera. Now we'll just set it at 15 for now. You'll have to experiment with this, I'll show you in a minute. But so that's that done. But now we need to actually assign that position, so this, to our character, which is easily done as this dot transform dot position equals new path. So this will set the transform position of our character to the new position, which is determined by the line which is returned from the camera to the mouse at the point 15. So it'll send it out 1 pixel, 2 pixel, 3 pixel, and when it gets to 15 it'll get that and return it. So if we play it now, you should be able to see we haven't assigned the camera. So if we assign the camera to the char, boom, let's see. There we go. So we can, as you see, we can slowly move it. Don't worry about that error, that should go away. There we go. I'll start somewhere. But yeah, so as you can see, we can now move. So with that done, you saw this was really easy. So if we change this to say 5, you'll see that it disappears. As you see, the cube's gone, but it's not, it's just really far away. The way this camera works is it works on distance as you program in. So if we were to set it to 50, it will be huge on the screen compared to last time. Well, as you can see, it's a bit bigger. Yeah, so if you look at here, the way this camera works is it is a flat pane. As you can see, it goes all the way up to there, then all the way back. But then it goes all the way across. So as you can see, really simple. So that's that done, but let's just add a wall, so let's just make a quick maze so we've got something to start with. Making the maze, I'm just going to use the cubes what I built into the game. So we're just going to go game object, create other cube. If you don't understand this, I'm sorry, but I'm not really that good with Raise, but I hope this helps a little bit. So we're going to put this here and scale 200, 300, 500, 5,000, 1,000. That'll do. Yep, so we'll set the y-axis to 20, no, 10, that'll do. And we'll keep it at 50. But as you can see, it disappears off at camera. But if we go into our Y view and move it across a little bit, it'll appear. So that's just because it goes out of the range of the camera. Move it down so it's at the bottom of the screen. So we've got one cube. So we'll call this wall. That'll do. So now we need to duplicate this and put it on all aspects. However, at the moment, the player disappears, but we can fix that later. Yeah. There you go. So if we duplicate this and move it up to the top, so we've got boundaries, we can select both, duplicate them and rotate them. So if we select this one, 90, that didn't work at all, 90, even worse, 90, there we go. So let's just drag this across a little bit, oops, to there. These are just basically the walls, so if we intersect with these walls we die. So the reason we're going to do this is because then it'll make our game actually, so you can't just run off the screen and then everyone complains, oh I've lost me stuff. My cursor, yeah. There was one duplicated, I swear down there was. Okay, guess not. So we'll just we'll add a couple more areas in. So we'll drag this down to about here, drag it across a bit so your character's actually got wave past. Duplicate it again, drag it up, and drag it all the way this way. So it makes the character have to, like, there's a basic maze as you can see, and it'll make a character have to go here. Of course we'll have to like implement something to like say click the character to start, because if the character's mouse is here at the beginning, the user's, the thing will jump up there, then we'll die, which isn't very helpful. So we will change it eventually. So if we go to our maze folder and create a new JavaScript saying colliders, I really don't know what to call it. This script is basically going to say if it hits something called wall, kill the character. Simple as that. So we've done this many times before. So if we go function on trigger enter and call it call collider, which is setting the properties of that. So you've always got to make sure you have that in, and it will be a collider. If the return thing, we've done this many times before, call dot game object, so the game object of it dot name is wall. I believe it's wall. Then what we want to do you remember? Print die. We've always got to have an exclamation mark. So that should work. If not, we might have to change that to char and put it back in. But if we go to this char and put it on colliders, boom. Now we need to turn every single wall to a trigger. So if we just select them all, click is trigger, that should work. However, one little bug you will see is if we try it, it don't work. And if you go to this view, the character is being hit by it, as you can see, but it won't work. So what we need to do is actually put a rigid body on our character to be able to detect it getting hit. And you will think it makes it fall, but since it's being updated every second, it won't. As you can see, die, die. So if we hit any of that, we die. If we come round and we'll make something here, you win. Super simple. So let's add a bit of colour to it first, because it's really boring. So, I know, we'll add a plane at the background first. And expand it really largely. Obviously that doesn't want to work. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Wow, that's why. 200, 200, 200. And if we rotate it by 90, face the camera, didn't work. 90, didn't work. And 90. Now I need to rotate it by 180. Boom. So, as you can see, it looks terrible at the moment, but we can fix that. So what we're going to do is we're going to assign another material to it. So maze, create material, you can't see it again. We'll call this one maze, we'll call this one walls, and we'll call another one background. And our walls, sorry, I clicked stop recording. We're going to rename this. Okay, we'll just delete it. Oh, background, spell it right. And the walls, we're just going to click that and set it to, what colour walls shall we have? Shout out, I can hear red. We'll have red then. I really hope someone shouted red, else I'll feel bad. But the background we'll just set to a light blue, so like a sky kind of feature. Background, set to walls. Mesh rendering, we'll just drag it onto here. Actually, white and blue does look quite good. Boom. It'll do for now, it'll do. But yeah. So we've got a bit of colour, so it looks a bit better than it did. So now let's just add a... Obviously you can neaten this up, you don't need all these around here, but it's time. I might do it over when I'm not recording, but yeah. So add a sphere, drag it here, we'll call this finish. We'll scale it 20, 20, 20. Is it in the right place? Drag it into the maze, else the char won't hit it. We'll set the y-axis to 50, not the y-axis. Probably the z-axis then. Because in that way, if it hits anything around here, it should be able to get past and win. So create another material, a lot of materials. Finish. You can obviously add your own texture to this, but I'm just doing this out of speed and to make it look basic-y kind of thing. And finish. Oh, that seems your eyes funny. So green looks terrible, of course, but yeah. So what's that called? Finish. So let's add it to our thing. So if call.gameObject.name equals finish, then print winner. Damn it! I don't know why I put that. You know how weird I can be. So let's check. Is it a trigger? No. So let's make it a trigger. Start here. Nearly hit it. Winner! We won! And let's kill ourselves. We're dead. Right. So the basics of the maze is done. This is where you'll put whatever happens when you win. You can make it go to a new level. You can do whatever you want. In here is you put what when you die. When you die, you can make it display a message, take it to another level, retry. We're eventually going to put like scores on it, so you win, and then like it takes you to a new level. you win again, you win again, you win again, and it'll keep doing it and doing it. So it'll look really cool. So we'll just save that. And what we'll do is if we take it in our levels folder, we'll just call this maze. Ooh, guess it decided not to. Maze minigame. We don't put an underscore in it, and we'll just call this level maze level 01. Boom. So now we've got it saved. So all what's left to do is when we oops, I died. Restart. Can't even do this maze. Right, so what's left to do is when we on the next tutorial we'll make it a bit more advanced and stuff. Then we're going to try and fix these errors here because I know quite a few people are not happy with them. They are easy to fix, most of them. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Really hope you liked it. Sorry if this is long. I can't tell how long it is. See you next time.